All right, I want to look at a couple of things that are going on with this file and how you might begin in your own files to mediate some things. So if you remember back a while ago, we were coming in and we looked at this and there was a self intersection. So if I come up here, you can see that self intersection. And it's having a real problem representing what's going on there. Sometimes if there's something weird going on, you can go over here and go to the shaded, and then you'll see what's happening is that this is folding up around and then twisting around itself. So Revit is getting confused about, what's happening in here. So you can either go back and fix the original model, which is an option, or you can kind of come in here and mediate this to a certain extent. So if I zoom in on this piece, really what I would like, if we go back to the shaded real quick, is I would like this line to sort of peel down and arc up to here, and this line to go away. So go back to hidden line. You could just print it with the shaded on and sort of ignore this anomaly. But let's go ahead and put the arced line in first. So if you go to your annotate tab up here, you'll get detail line. And if you left click on detail line, you can draw a line, rectangle, a spline, an ellipse, and you can set a line style. I'm going to select thin lines because these elevation lines are quite thin. And then I'm going to select the spline option. So I'm going to pick spline, and it's not going to snap on this object, but you can left click, sort of left click, and then I'll zoom in and try and hit pretty close to the end of that line. And then if I hit escape twice, it stops that command. And you can come in and it'll give you these points and you can sort of adjust them, to make that line more correct. Now, if you wanted to get rid of this little piece, this little loop right here, let's go ahead and move that line down a little bit. You could come in and put a masking region over that, and the masking region lives right below the detail line in the annotate tab. So if I go to region, masking region, make sure that your line style is set on invisible lines, and then just draw a little rectangle around there, and then hit the big green check. And if you left click off of it, you see how it sort of just clips that guy away. You could do the same thing for this guy right here. Now the problem that we're going to run in with this is that it crosses the line that we want to stay, so we would have to make multiple masking regions. So if I go to the masking region, I could come in and be quite precise right here. And now that's gone, right? So I'm just slowly sort of going through and as best I can, right, getting rid of those lines. Now maybe that one's not so bad because it is kind of folding over itself, but you can see now I have something that's a little bit more believable, okay? And so you can do that and clean up your lines. I'm just going to window around those and delete them. Or actually, let's not delete them. Let's take a look at one more thing while those are there. You can come in also, and if you would like to see more of the fact that this is curved, or that these are moving away from you, there is an option under graphics display, and it's called Ambient Shadows. And if I click apply and click OK, it's a little hard to tell from a distance, but if I come in a little closer and it'll print this way, you can see that it's now putting a shadow underneath this, and basically it's an ambient occlusion based on the location of the sun. Now the problem is going to be that wherever things don't quite line up, like that we did that, it's not going, like it's that region is going to hide that. So we could actually select that region and kind of edit the boundary if we wanted to If I tab, I can get to the endpoint and I can move that. Or maybe just delete it and create another line that's a little bit more closely related to that. And this has to be a fully, can't have any overhanging, so I'm trimming that. So it's a little less obvious, right? But you're going to get a little line there and maybe you can live with that. But it'll give you sort of a nice shade underneath that. Okay, so that's another option. The other option, of course, is to go to the shaded view. And again, unfortunately, in the shaded view, you're going to get that masking region. You're just going to have to decide which one you want to use. Now, if it's too dark now, like now that you have the shaded region, the shading on, you can come back to your graphics display and you can turn off the ambient shadows because you don't really need them anymore, and that's going to lighten it up a little bit. You can also go to the lighting, and if you turn the ambient light up and hit apply, it's going to lighten that up. That's a bit much. Apply. The only thing you notice is that it lightens everything up. So that means that if you have another view that's next to this one, you may want to save this as a view template and apply it to that view. All right, so that's a couple of tips for updating.